Welcome to Vader TV, the site on innovation and innovators. Well, how do you find the most influential bloggers across the noisy blogosphere? Well, you can start by using Buzzlogic. And joining me to talk about Buzzlogic is co-founder and chief product officer Todd Parsons. Todd, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Bambi.
The idea behind Buzzlogic is to tap into social media, the blogosphere, social networks, and find the most influential people to help market and sell products. How influential is the blogosphere?
Well, that's a great question, and we found that it's incredibly influential when it comes to influencing purchase decisions, how people get informed on what they'd like to buy. In fact, there was a recent study that Blue Lithium, which is a fairly large ad network, had launched that indicated that social media content was 39% more effective at converting people once they had gotten to it on buying a certain product.
Can you give me an example of a product that was sold across the blogosphere? And give me an example of a client of yours.
A really good example is a job site called Pro2o that we work with. Think of Pro2o as kind of a cross between Monster.com and eHarmony, the dating website that matches you on criteria with people that are the best fit. So Pro2o used Buzzlogic to find the most influential people on certain things about the job market and job hunting, and then built relationships with those people to, in effect, build a highway between their content and Pro2o's website. What that resulted in for Pro2o was about a 25% increase in their website traffic, and more importantly to them, about a 40% increase in the conversions they had with people registering that came from that influential content. So, incredibly effective way to get the message out and to increase their sales at the end of the day.
Well, at Vader TV, we hold competitions, and we're trying to find the most influential bloggers in the video gaming industry so we can create awareness for our video game competition. What can you do for us?
Vader TV were to come to me today and say, you know, we'd love to do that for the next year. First of all, we're a very low price service. We're very disruptive with our pricing for this kind of thing. So for $12,000 a year, we'd start working with Vader to find the most influential people around the subjects that your competitions were about. So if, for instance, video gaming was the core subject of your next competition, we'd help you find the people who are most influential on certain types of video gaming, or certain trends in video gaming, or certain technology components, and give you the way to build a relationship and engage those folks to bring them into the fold of Vader TV and get your message out about that competition.
And what's the integration process? And is it pretty difficult? Is it an application? How long does it take to kind of get up and running?
It's really immediate. We're a software as a service, so we're an on-demand, web-hosted service, and so it's as easy as switching on the application, getting a little bit of training, so you know of how to set up these conversations, and within a half an hour, you're basically on your way, finding the influencers and getting your marketing agenda.
You've been around since 2004. Is the average customer cost about $12,000, I believe you said?
Right.
Is that what your average customer is paying?
It's a good question. It's really, $12,000 is more of an entry point for us.
Okay.
What we find is that as our customers get more and more comfortable with using our tool as a way to find these communities of influencers and engage with them, that they generally ramp their usage of what we have. So it's a very, very good way to get these programs, these marketing communication programs out, but usually takes a little bit of time to kind of get the knack of it. So as they learn more about the tools and how to use them, and they see the success like companies like Pro2o have, then generally the amount of usage goes up.
How many customers do you have, and how many have signed up or re-signed with you, and how many have increased their budgets with you?
We've had our first application in market since September of last year, so we haven't been in market that long with a product. It took us a long time to kind of get this influence engine working correctly, and we spent a lot of our early days doing that. Currently, we don't advertise our customer numbers, but it's less than 100 right now. They're brands that range from kind of household names that you would recognize if I were able to talk about them. We're confidential with our customers, of course, ranging all the way down to kind of smaller companies like Vader or like Buzzlogic, where maybe the agenda is to start building awareness through the blogosphere, through social media, instead of through a mainstream channel.
Okay. You raised about $9.5 million in venture funding. Does this take you to cash flow positive at some point? When does that occur? And if not, are you going to be raising funds anytime soon?
Well, we're kind of feeling our way through to how we're going to deploy our capital right now. Our fundraising was completed in January, so you can imagine we're still really doing quite a bit in terms of I guess, deploying our capital wisely. And our focus right now is to extend our selling efforts, a little more account management and market, really learning and informing our product development process with that money. It's not going to be for some time that we go back out for another round of capital if we indeed have to or want to. So we're kind of in the process of making that determination, but we're really nose to the grindstone right now to figure those other things out.
Now, a cheaper way to find influential bloggers is possibly just going on Technorati and seeing which ones are ranked the highest, or maybe buying a list. Why spend $12,000 with your company?
That's a great question. Well, so Technorati, think of Technorati a little bit more, Technorati's authority ranking, as you might be familiar with it, as a little bit more a measure of popularity, of a person's popularity. So if a lot of people happen to link to my blog or whatever my presence is on the web, then I might be a very authoritative person in Technorati's estimation. Buzzlogic's a lot different than that. What we do is look at popularity as being just one component of about a dozen that might measure someone's influence. And importantly, we're looking at who might be influential about a topic rather than just being popular as a blogger. So where I might be somebody that people regard as credible on technology issues or social media issues, they might not want to listen to me when I'm talking about triathlons. The other thing that we do that's very different from free products or even paid products like Technorati and other paid products are to look at the timing at which influence occurs. So people build up credibility over time, Bambi, on certain subjects. So if I write on triathlons all the time and people pay attention to my content, I'm gathering audience around that content and I'm doing a great job with it, I become very influential on that subject. Tools like Technorati don't tell you that. And they won't tell you when I'm most influential, as Buzzlogic does. So I might write a blog post tomorrow that isn't as influential as something that I'm going to write in a week or that I wrote last week. And we're able to provide that sensitivity with our algorithms so that marketers can get the message right to the right spot with precision and get the most bang for their buck.
Thanks, Todd. I've been speaking with Todd Parsons. He's the Chief Product Officer and co-founder of Buzzlogic. I'm Bambi Francisco.